John Cruikshank. Those of you who think that Jockey John has manic tendencies, please raise your hands. Susan Taylor. If you think the butler did it, you've been asleep. But the housekeeper may have done the evil deed. Raise your hands, please. Very well. Did Mary get her ideas from watching those awful American films? Raise your hands if you think she did. Alan Smith. Did our gardener lose the clock one final time? Is he the guilty party? Please raise your hands. Harold Williams. And finally, Dr. Williams, a well-respected member of the Thornbury Society. Smart, sophisticated, but perhaps a reincarnation of the devil. Raise your hands, please. Remember also that only one person killed Richard Maltravers. That person will fabricate any story to escape the hangman's noose. Ladies and gentlemen, you now have a chance to interrogate the suspects and discover where they were. Each suspect will be at a numbered table for 4 minutes, and when the bell rings, they will move around visiting each table in turn. Ladies and gentlemen, you now have 5 more minutes in which to ask any final questions. If you have any, please raise your hands and we'll pick you out in the next 5 minutes. So any questions, anyone? Got one at the back also.
You're the only man, sir.
Stand up.
I'd like to ask Susan Taylor, when you went into the office to talk to your employer, what did you want to talk to you about?
Well, I was going to tell him about his wife and Alex Smith. And I was also going to tell him that Alice was not his child.
Any more questions, anybody? Yep, fire away.
I want to ask Caroline, honestly, do you fancy Alan? Because he's been such a support for you during this time.
You might as well tell her.
He's my true love's dad.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
So I view him as,
She's like my daughter, she is.
yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yes, another question down the front. Good family. And
He hasn't involved me. He's
if anybody else would get any money, we pay.
I wouldn't. I'd be like getting wages.
No, I wouldn't get any money.
You get any money?
I'm not sure, but maybe I was going to.
You get any money? No. Any more questions, anyone? We'll take one from down the front first, and I'll come to you in the back.
Alan, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's Mr. Kid from the village, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We've been employed for 6 years, is that right?
1947 to 1954, so 7.
So why leave it 7 years with people?
Well, I'll tell you why I left, young sir. It was because I didn't want to be around and make trouble for Alice when she finds out from that, well, when Mr. Maltravers finds out from that witch over there that Caroline and my son actually were her parents. So I got a job with Major Orr just down the road, so I'm going to be all right. And if I could get out before he found out, at least I might get my wages as well. What? I've got 4 weeks' wages to lose.
Okay, the lady in the back.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Rebecca, have you ever climbed out of the window? For God's sake.
That's personal.
Down in St. Ives, I do have a laugh with my friends, but that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, question over there.
Rebecca, where's your room? My room is just up the steps on the landing.
Is it above the study?
Yes.
Yes, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Go to your car and get the morphine. Did you come out of your study? Go out of your study, go to the toilet, and then go to the car.
Well, the question was, why did I not go straight to the car? Is that correct? Well, unfortunately, in my old age, I have a very weak bladder. And so I needed to relieve myself. So I went to the downstairs
Surely, you need to come in and study before you told to go out to the car.
I was in the study beginning. I was talking to Richard. Yeah, I was talking to Richard.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the 5 minutes up. So, if you'd now like to make your accusations as to who you think the murderer is and the reason or reasons as to why they committed the murder on the sheets provided, and place them in the box which the gentleman over there behind the tea counter is going to go around to you. You may now carry on enjoying your refreshments and shortly be drawing your back.
There they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to read you the following statement. Following intensive police investigations tonight, I can announce that Susan Taylor will shortly be arrested, taken into custody and charged for the murder of Mr. Maltravers. The police say that Susan Taylor will be sectioned under the Mental Health Act of 1953 due to a very unfortunate case of mental breakdown and alcoholism and stress. I have now been given a police report on the conclusion of how Susan Taylor committed the murder of Richard Maltravers. I will now read the following police report. Susan Taylor left the drawing room to go to Mr. Maltravers' study and talk to him about Caroline Maltravers and Alex Smith, and the fact that Alex Smith was really Miss Alice Maltravers' father. On arriving at the study, she heard him on the telephone talking to the solicitor, Mr. Peters, about making Mrs. Tasker Vandel's money payable to Richard Maltravers Esquire. Susan Taylor became angry because she knew that Richard Maltravers would disappear and embezzle all of his wife's money, and therefore she wouldn't be able to blackmail Caroline Maltravers. She also knew that Mary Wells, who was pregnant with Richard Maltravers' baby and whom she loved as a daughter, would be left without any financial or physical support from Richard Maltravers if he disappeared. Miss Alice and Miss Rebecca Maltravers, whom she brought up like they were her own children, would be left with nothing. Richard Maltravers forcing Mary to have an abortion by Dr. Harold Williams was the last straw, and so Susan Taylor knew the only way to protect the people she cared about was to kill Richard Maltravers. She remembered Mary Wells saying that Richard Maltravers kept a gun hidden in his desk where the silver claret jugs were last seen. We believe that Susan Taylor saw Miss Alice Maltravers' riding gloves on the table in the hall and knew that she could wear them to prevent fingerprints on the weapon. Susan Taylor took the gloves and went to the kitchen. On arriving in the kitchen, she saw Mary Wells and Alan Smith talking. Susan Taylor told Mary Wells to get on with the dinner. As Alan Smith was heading to the study, she told him to wait as Mr. Maltravers was on the phone. Alan Smith then left for the stables and Susan Taylor asked Mary Wells to carve the chicken, which she knew would make Mary Wells feel queasy and make her rush to the lavatory. Susan Taylor knew this was her chance to kill Richard Maltravers, so she quickly put on the gloves and made her way to the study, making sure no one saw her. She knocked on the study door and entered. Susan Taylor quickly locked the door while Richard Maltravers wasn't looking and walked over to the desk. She grabbed the gun and shot Richard Maltravers 3 times to ensure he was dead. Susan Taylor, then to incriminate a younger person, opened the window and threw one of the gloves out to make it look like the murderer had escaped out of the window and dropped it. She then left and ran through the secret passage to the kitchen. During the investigation, it was revealed that many of the suspects knew of rumours about secret passages around Thornbury Manor, although they could not confirm where the passages were. When searching the manor, police discovered plans of the secret passages hidden in Susan Taylor's room, and she revealed during earlier questioning that she had found them when cleaning the attic. When the police examined the passages, they discovered many stolen items from the manor and other places in Thornbury. We suspect she'd been stealing items for some time and selling them as she needed the money because Richard Maltravers has reduced her wages and she was finding it difficult to handle her alcohol addiction. When Susan Taylor returned to the kitchen, we suspect that she threw the other glove into the oven range, as forensics found remains of a riding glove in the oven. Evidence given in Alan Smith's statement stated that Susan Taylor got out the sherry and drank some for her nerves as he came into the kitchen. He stated he was about to ask her about her drinking when they both heard Mary Wells shouting for Caroline Maltravers, and it sounded like she was banging on a door. Alan Smith picked up the sherry bottle from the kitchen table and put the cork back in, and Mrs. Taylor put it back in the pantry. They both ran into the hallway. John Cruikshank had broken down the study door as everyone arrived, and they all went in one after the other to find Richard Maltravers lying on the floor, dead. Dr. Harold Williams went over and confirmed he had been shot. To try and take suspicion off her, Susan Taylor made straight for the telephone and phoned the police, who arrived at Thornbury Manor at approximately 8 o'clock and began their investigation.
Thank you very much.
He was going to leave me in Mandel, left in the garden of Mandel. We were in the hole, it was all. And then the
They may be mine, yeah.
Have you got a key?
oh, they're in the dressing room.